smoke it?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
I'm seriously thinking about putting everything I got in.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Bitcoin leading the way up almost 4%. Ethereum sitting slightly around that neutral level. However, Ethereum could be looking for an insane rally. I'll let you know why in just a bit, but having a look at our buddy Bitcoin, it is pushing right now at the $56,000 level, trying to push higher, trying to put in a new all-time high. Will it be able to put in a new all-time high? Well, there's a few things I want to talk about super quick. Number one, we've actually seen Bitcoin whale addresses holding over 10,000 coins selling off recently. So why are they selling off? Are they just taking profits? What is happening? Well, there's something in the charts right now that if it does happen, we could have a little bit of a turbulent couple days before potentially breaking that Bitcoin all-time high. I do want to give a slight warning about that. I also want to talk about Ethereum, why I believe Ethereum is the sleeping giant. We could be looking for an insane Ethereum move, not just because of the fundamentals, which we're going to go over, but technically right now, two charts are telling me that Ethereum could be looking for a massive blast off. And also, if you guys checked out the interview with BitBoy, we were talking about these super cycles for Bitcoin. And again, I want to stress that idea today that I do think we could be entering a Bitcoin super cycle that could last more than 4 years. And I'll let you know exactly why I believe that is a possibility. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, well, we do this every single day. You don't want to miss out. Make sure that you turn on those bell notifications because sometimes we have those very, very time-sensitive updates, right? Now, if you're new to crypto, you're new to the channel, you just recently subscribed, thank you. I want to point out one thing that has been absolutely insane, which is this massive, massive bounce off the retest of these previous highs that we had right here when Bitcoin hit 14,000. And you can see right here where we had that 30% correction off of the $42,000 Bitcoin. Well, once we pumped all the way up to our all-time high, once we came back down, we had a V-shaped bounce off of that level, turning arguably some of the most important resistance into actual support. So zooming in, you can see the legacy trend line right there. That's that yellow line. But one of the moving averages that we have been using to consistently make winning trades on this channel is the 21 exponential moving average. You could see whenever we've had these dips below it, you've had amazing opportunities for minimally at least scalp trades. And most recently, we had one of the most beautiful bounces where Bitcoin was sitting at around $48,000 to currently pumping up over $56,000. So if you guys have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, definitely get subscribed. We go over these levels every single day, and check out my tutorial on Bybit where I go over exactly how to trade Bitcoin using leverage, because remember, you can make money when the price goes up or when the price goes down, right? So if you are interested, check out that tutorial popping up above. Also, $200 in bonuses below if you are interested. But you can see even on the weekly, we are above the 50, the 100, the 200, the 21 exponential on the weekly. And Bitcoin has been supported by this weekly trend. This has been the lowest that Bitcoin has ever fallen whenever, it has these crazy bears. And you can see right here, we're sitting at around $10,000 exactly, which means that in the absolute worst case scenario, let's say Bitcoin crashes to all doom tomorrow, $10,000 is officially the new floor. But don't freak out. I don't think we're going to 10,000. By the time Bitcoin does fall down to this level, this average will have obviously moved up a lot higher at that point. But you can see we got above this very critical resistance. I was waiting for this breakout. We finally got confirmation. So this is good. However, keep in mind, we need to see a daily close for that full-on confirmation. I told you guys about this diamond pattern. Now, these could have signaled reversals traditionally, but I told you guys the trend is your friend until the end. And every single time we've had a bearish formation on the Bitcoin chart, it's just gone up, right? But I do want to offer one little bit of, just a little bit of caution, okay? So granted, yes, we have broken out of this. I am waiting for this daily close. That would be nice. But the one thing I want to point out is if we actually look down here on a smaller level, you could see that when Bitcoin pumped up originally to 42,000, right? We fell down. We looked like we were going to break up again. We got to 40,000, but then we actually had another dump before accumulating and bouncing off again. I just want to warn you that there is the possibility that we could be doing the same thing where we pump up, we have the dip, we almost reach the previous high, and then we come back down again for one more fake out test before the dump, right? And I have said that, and these markets are designed to catch you off guard. They are designed to take the money from the impatient, from the weak hands into the strong hands, right? So that is what we are keeping our eyes on. We've had a beautiful bounce over on Bitcoin futures. This is the trend though. You know, like I said, I would expect if we do fall, we would get caught somewhere on this legacy trend, you know, somewhere between the $48,000 to $50,000 level short term. And yeah, I mean, basically that's how it is all around. Now, talking about the incredible interest in Bitcoin. So you had a press release that came out from Grayscale's parent company, Digital Currency Group, right? They're announcing a $250 million purchase in GBTC shares. Now, some people say they might be doing this because they're desperate because now they have 3 ETFs in competition up in Canada, right? But they do say that they're using cash on hand to fund the purchases and will make them on the open market. Now, before we get into the scary part of why are the whales dumping, I just want to point out that in traditional finance right now, gold has actually hit its lowest in more than 8 months. A day after holdings in the precious metal-backed exchange-traded fund fell by 14 tons, logging the biggest outflow seen since 2021. And this article is only a day old. Now, in an interview with Bloomberg TV, Dr. Mark Mobius, the founder of Mobius Capital, actually spoke about Bitcoin's competitive edge over the gold market. Now, this is, he's an older fellow. He's been around for a while, so he's just another one that's shifting their focus from the traditional assets into the world of Bitcoin. And he says that there is definitely a correlation with the fact that Bitcoin has gone higher and gold has gone lower. And he does not think that this is a coincidence. He actually thinks that gold's recent decline is actually 100% correlated with Bitcoin, right? So that is something we definitely need to know. Don't forget, we had the Norwegian billionaire, who I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce this guy's name. I'm not even going to try. But he was the one behind Acre who established CT, right? And they're a firm dedicated to investing into Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ecosystem. So more companies getting into Bitcoin. He says, first, we're going to use Bitcoin as our treasury asset and join the community. He says, we are hodlers, but we are different. Perhaps not as rebellious cypherpunks who invented Bitcoin, but more progressive than most established corporates. The team at CT is already running open source Bitcoin payment servers and will remain active contributors in the community. So things are changing. It's going on the balance sheet. We've seen what the mayor of Miami has said about Bitcoin, right? We've seen Tesla buying. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this time it's different. And I feel very bad for Alex Jones, who apparently was gifted 10,000 Bitcoin back when Bitcoin was around $5, and he lost the laptop, or he threw the laptop out. So yeah, he basically threw about $550 million in the garbage. So this is why you gotta hodl the BTC. You gotta hodl the BTC. Now, let's talk about the concerning data, and I'll let you know exactly what I think is happening. So the so-called Bitcoin humpback whales are massive wallets that contain over 10,000 Bitcoin, or roughly about $550 million, which is exactly what Alex Jones would be today had he held that Bitcoin, right? He would be a Bitcoin humpback whale. So according to data from Glassnode, these addresses have actually plummeted in numbers since the start of the year. At that time, there were about 115 wallets holding this many Bitcoin, but have dropped to just over 90, which is an all-time low. So why are the whales starting to sell their Bitcoin? Now, one theory is, hey, maybe they're just splitting it into multiple wallets. That could be a case, right? Maybe they put 5,000 over here, 5,000 over there. That's a possibility. We don't actually know who owns the keys to the wallets. We just assume each wallet is its own person, but nevertheless, we are seeing these outflows. Well, my theory is that we are seeing these big whales finally start to allocate into some of these other speculative cryptos. We know that alt season is potentially around the corner. And why do I say this? Well, having a look at this Bitcoin dominance, we're either at the absolute bottom and altcoins are about to get totally wrecked because Bitcoin is about to bounce off this level, or Bitcoin is about to actually fall down lower. Okay, which means the dominance is going to fall, not necessarily the price, but it means that now, as the Bitcoin dominance falls lower and lower, we're actually going to see a lot more interest in these altcoins, right? Let me see if I don't have the altcoins pulled up right now, total too, but you would see, for example, now let's talk about Ethereum, right? Now Ethereum, this is its Bitcoin comparative. Even though if we actually look at its dollar comparative, Ethereum is actually struggling with this resistance. Breaking above this would be the equivalent of Bitcoin, so we need to stay and break above about 1871. But going back over here, it is actually touching perfectly on this level for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, which is the ETH versus BTC chart, which is telling me that if you have the Bitcoin dominance falling, you have the ETH BTC bottoming out, we could be looking for a massive surge in allocation from whales moving their funds from Bitcoin into Ethereum. Now, I'm not telling you right now, people say, hey, should I sell my Bitcoin for Ethereum? I'm not going to tell you to do that. I can't tell you to do that. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but I have started ramping up my Ethereum holdings a lot higher because I believe that we could potentially see Ethereum about to seriously start to outpace Bitcoin. It's just my theory. We need confirmation, but signs are pointing to this. Not only is that the case, but on the Tim Ferriss podcast, we had Vitalik Buterin, essentially the creator, right, of Ethereum, one of the co-creators, addressing some of the main challenges that are currently riding on the Ethereum ecosystem. In particular, he was talking about layer 1 and 2 scaling solutions, among other things. Now, we've already seen some layer 2 solutions, right? Matic/Polygon. They got added to Coinbase. We've seen the price absolutely surging. Not going to tell you I told you so, but I told you guys at Matic when it was literally half of a cent. But yeah, well, what are you going to do, guys? What are you going to do? Anyway, getting back to this, though. So he says, roll-ups are coming very soon, and we're fully confident that by the time we need any more scaling of that, sharding will have already solved that for the long run. He also thinks that something like Optimism or ZK-based roll-ups will be able to solve Ethereum's scalability, saying that we could get a 100x scalability upgrade. But wait, there's more. As opposed to layer 2 solutions brought forward by the concept of roll-ups, sharding is a layer 1 integration. We know sharding, we've talked about this, the network would be split into smaller partitions. They would contain independent transactions, etc. But according to Vitalik, he says when both layer 1 and layer 2 scaling solutions come together and we have Ethereum 2.0 and we have EIP 1559 and we move to proof of stake, he's saying that Ethereum could literally scale of a factor greater than 1000x. And it sounds crazy. And we are betting on things like Cardano and Polkadot and Elrond and all these other things. But if Ethereum is actually able to do this, it will definitely provide that competition. I mean, it's already got the network effect, right? Now, talking about other projects as well, well, actually, before I get into that, I just wanted to, this is a tweet that I put out on Twitter, and I just wanted to once again stress, talking about these super cycles, right? So people think that, they're comparing what we're doing right now to what we did in 2017. I was there in 2017, my friends. I experienced it. I experienced the euphoria from $1,000 Bitcoin to $20,000 Bitcoin, all the way down to $3,000 Bitcoin. And I can tell you, during that entire cycle, we were trying to find reasons to be bullish. We were picking at anything we could find, any piece of news to talk about. Today, I literally wake up and there are so many bullish articles and bullish things coming out about, for Bitcoin and crypto that I can't even keep up with it anymore. And I can tell you there was nowhere near this amount of bullish news in 2017. So even though the technicals are looking good, 4-year cycle looking good, 210,000 blocks halving looking good, right? Bitcoin's doing its thing, but fundamentally it is a completely different ballgame this time, which is why I think we could see smaller local tops with these smaller 40%, 60% drawbacks rather than these massive 80%, 90% drops. I mean, JP Morgan Chase, who was definitely one of the biggest naysayers back in the day, they're set to launch their debt instrument basket of 11 stocks to give investors exposure to the crypto market. This is called the JP Morgan Cryptocurrency Exposure Basket. It will provide debt instruments linked to 11 companies with ties to cryptocurrency. The basket itself will not invest in crypto themselves, but invest in the market via the proxy of these companies. So, okay, it's not direct exposure to things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but in a roundabout way, it's exposure to companies that are at the forefront of cryptocurrencies. You understand what I'm saying? So this is exactly why I believe that times are different. I mean, even since March, 1st of 2020, it says the number of new Bitcoin ATMs installed worldwide is nearing 10,000. According to the latest data from Coin ATM Radar, the current number of machines stands at around 16,800, which is a 57.5 increase, okay? So even more Bitcoin ATMs, more companies. I mean, the world is just becoming more Bitcoin-centric, Bitcoin-focused. We've heard them talk about using Bitcoin for trade. This is happening. Lightning Network, even though we don't talk about it too much, has actually had some upgrades in the back. People are using it right now. It's only a matter of time until that UI, that user experience, comes to everyone's cell phone, to everyone's mobile phones, and then, what are you going to do now? What is your excuse now? I mean, PayPal's got it, right? So that is basically what I'm talking about. But I also want to address something else. Tribalism in the space, right? Polkadot is better than Cardano. No, Polkadot's terrible. Cardano is the Ethereum killer. Cardano, no, Elrond is the best, right? Guys, at the end of the day, it really is just going to come down to use cases, right? That's like saying like only one car company, like only Ford is the best, or only, Honda or Mercedes or whatever, Ferrari, I don't care. No, there's multiple car companies. There's multiple, soft drink companies. There's not just Pepsi and Coke. There's also, we got a thing called RC Cola around here, right? Although those two guys, they probably do have a monopoly. But you understand what I'm trying to say? There are room for more than one, right? You have Apple, you have Microsoft, you have Linux, right? You have these options. So one of the things that actually interests me and has always interested me is interoperability, which is actually why I'm a huge fan of Polkadot. And I wanted to show you guys something I had an opportunity to look at, which was Cellframe. So these guys are talking about providing interoperability by using cell bridges to public blockchains. So you can connect several blockchains into a single system, including integration of public blockchains. Actually, over on their Medium right here, they talk about achieving high scalability through implementing sharding, which I just talked about that they're going to do on Ethereum, but not in an ordinary conventional way. In Cellframe, the bandwidth bottleneck has been eliminated. The intermediate hub commonly used in blockchain platforms, for example, Polkadot, to exchange information between chains, Cellframe shards can interact autonomously in P2P modes, which ultimately increase the performance of the entire system. So it's not only now just about Ethereum or Polkadot or this. No, we're talking about like blockchain glue, right? The same way that oracles were able to bring the data from the real world into the actual blockchains, because we know smart contracts aren't really smart, right? They have parameters and they need to have something telling them to execute, a certain action, right? So they say over here, additionally, they use the combination of blockchain and DAG chains in each shard. Talking about the system's security, they took care of how Cellframe will work tomorrow in an era of emerging quantum computers, which I don't really think necessarily is 100% threat right now, but it could be in the future, right? They say this is why they protected the system with variable quantum resistant encryption. They believe in better tomorrow and technology will make it happen. And you can see some of the things in here they talk about is distributed VPN and content delivery network, also blockchain framework for launching fully customizable and scalable subchains. Interoperability by design is the key focus. Mirror chains, okay? So some of these features mean that it doesn't affect blockchain's performance. It restores the latest state in case of an attack and can be used for interoperability features, right? So we do have potential rollbacks you could do. Bitcoin has orphan chains, but this is something that can also be very helpful. Second layer solutions, I don't have to go into that. We know what Polygon and Matic are doing, audio, video streaming, and edge computing, which would be coming soon as well. So just keep your eyes out for that if you guys are interested. They are actually going to be listed on TrustSwap. So I like to bring you these opportunities so you guys can do your own research before they actually hit the markets. That way you guys can, check it out. But, this is something that interests me. One of the reasons why I got so into Polkadot was because of the idea of interoperability. The idea also of a layer 0 was pretty enticing as well, but interoperability, self-frame, check that out. Very cool, guys. Also, friendly reminder, Convergence is going to be listed on Polkastarter. They're announcing their IDO soon, and Chain Guardians, we know NFTs are massive. I told you guys about this. I'm excited about this project. They are looking to launch this over on Polkastarter as well, so check that out, follow that if you are interested. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. If you haven't checked out the videos that are popping up right here, right now, definitely click them, check them out. Lots of bonuses below. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.